millennials think that it's cheaper to rent a house than to buy a house. What do you think?
That's just not an all-encompassing statement. There are times when it's cheaper to rent or buy, and there are times when it's cheaper to buy or rent. It's hard. It's how you look at it. Mm-hmm. If you go out there and you say, I want to live in this area and I can't afford the house in this area, so I can't afford rent, so I'll rent, right? But the way I look at it, coming from a person that owns real estate, investment real estate, mm-hmm. and a primary, and I own everything, I will never rent. But then again, the caveat is, I've had the ability throughout these years to buy stuff, and it takes a lot. There's no question, to buy property. I've been lucky enough to do well in my career that I've never had to sell properties to buy a next one, right? And I haven't bought one new one right now. Yeah, it's expensive, but I'm trying to garner the equity because I don't want to sell. I'm just of that mind that okay, put it to you this way. One way of looking at it is you can't buy a house. You want to live in West LA. Yeah, you got to cough up $2 million for a house or something decent, even a condo, right? And a lot of people don't have that ability. The down payment is the equity is the problem. So I get that. I understand that. So we have two choices, right? You go pay rent around in a nice area. To me, I'll be honest, to me, rent is no different than every month taking that money and putting it in the toilet and flushing it. There's no returns on it. You don't build any equity. You don't have anything. It allows you to stay somewhere that you want to stay in. But is that the best financial decision? I don't think so. I had friends in the past, years ago, that bought their first homes and had to move to some shitty area to afford it. But to me, it's still important to build equity if you can. Now, I get it. If you work in an area where the cost of living, the cost of housing is high, both rent and purchasing, I get it. You can't move 40 miles away, 50 miles away, because that makes your commute difficult. It's difficult for you to get to your job. I get all that. But that doesn't mean you can't go buy an investment property somewhere else. Like my buddy, I have this buddy that has a bunch of properties all over the country, right? And he lives in a very, 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 very middle, low to middle class neighborhood now. That's his primary residence. But, he looks at it as equity. He's like, I go invest in something. So to me, the question really isn't it's too expensive to buy. There's so many variables that come into play when you when you look at a situation when is it too expensive to buy or rent, right? For example, let's use our area here. Someone could probably afford, something in not so nice of a neighborhood, right? Or go rent something equivalent, in West LA, in West Hollywood, or whatever it may be. To me, that kind of a decision, you got to take the damage. Go buy something in a place that isn't so nice, but at least every month you make that payment and everything, you're building equity. Okay, so regardless of what people say about housing, what is the most common thing in housing in the last several years? Right? Prices are going through the roof. But what if you owned? Look at all my properties, right? And it's not like I just did it. It's over the years I lived with it, right? And now they're worth a lot of money. So when the prices go up, I'm happy. I'm a happy camper, right? Because my equity is just going up. Mm-hmm. But I think the way you have to take the pain to buy your first one. And then from there, you elevate yourself, you buy better homes, you sell that one, you have more, it's appreciated, you use the equity you have there to put it down on something in a nicer neighborhood, and then over the years you go up. But to me, the mentality of I want to stay in the nicest neighborhood and pay $5-7 grand in rent. Why would you do that? There's no returns on that. There's no equity being built on that. That's just how I look at it. But again, there's some people that, there's no question right now in this environment that we're in, housing is extremely expensive. I was reading something yesterday, like the median income, the U.S. median income is $77,000 today. To afford a median home, you gotta have household income of north of like $115,000. So there's a mismatch there. Yes, it's accelerated, but for each person's individual decision making on buy or rent, always keep in mind, I say, this is just my thing. When you rent, you're flushing money down the toilet. That's just as simple as that. You have no equity. You have nothing, and with appreciation right now, it's not going to change. There's no way homes are going to be, in this neighborhood go down to $1 million a year. There's no way. Look at history. Real estate's finite. Appreciation always happens. Now, great financial crisis is a housing crash. That was a whole different situation than we are today. It's not the same. So, yeah, that's my answer, not real answer.
Got it.